Anyway, my next game, this was, right, this is a weird one because I remember playing it and I remember enjoying it, but The Fall.
Yes, the fall. Yeah.
Yeah, so The Fall was one of mine. It was a game and I remember it really weirdly. It was a Christmas Day thing. I got a few games bought for me, and I went onto PS Plus store, and The Fall was 99p. And I looked
Oh,
at it and I just went, fuck it, I'll buy it for
yeah,
99p.
whatever. I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, and I just sat there and I was like, this is awesome. And I loved it. I really did. Just the fact that this, this man in a suit lands on this planet and the AI inside it is trying to make sure that to keep you alive. But you find out as you go along, he's been unconscious the entire time, and it's the AI been moving the suit whilst he's unconscious
Yeah.
inside, and it starts getting weird, really weird. Like there's other AIs on this planet that are just trying to get along, but they're all like conflicting with one another. And yeah, I just thought it was really cool that all these humans had put all their own versions of like different AIs, and they're all arguing with each other like proper humans. And I loved
Oh,
it.
yeah. I remember you go into like a model home, and
Yes, that's the bit. And I was like, this is awesome. Love it. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So it's like a 2D side-on puzzle platformer, I guess
Yeah.
is what
Yeah.
they were
Yeah. Because you
explaining
have the
it.
gun and the light, and whenever you point the light at it, basically, it's like a point and click interface, and you can interact with whatever you see as long as the light touches it.
Yeah.
Um, yeah. And I just thought it was great. And the second one is not quite as good, but it has a lot of charm of the first one. So I hope they make a third one just to finish it off. But yeah, The Fall was one of those weird games I bought, thought fuck it, and then I actually came out and going, that was incredible. Well done, guys. That's really fun. Yeah.
I remember you strongly recommending it, and I
Yeah.
tried it, and I agree.
Did you finish it? Did you finish it at the end? Did you get all the way through it?
I finished the first one. I've not got the second one yet, but
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah, I played the
second
first
one.
one.
Yeah, the second one delves into like the fact like well, you know what happens at the end of the first one, but like that suit is just not usable anymore. That's a spoiler. But yeah, you end up in like a sex worker robot. And it's really fun because like no one takes you seriously, and she's coming out with all this like complicated AI speak, but with like a hooker voice, if that makes any sense. And it's just really interesting how they do it because she like I can't remember the name of the main AI in it. I can't remember her name. The one that's in the suit.
I don't remember.
She's got a really weird name. It's yeah, but she's going through all the different suits, and
Yeah.
everywhere she goes, she's corrupting them because she's just angry about what's happened. So she's becoming more human as a result because of what people have done to her. That's in the
Yeah.
second one, but yeah, I just like how like they've if you put Fall One and Fall Two together, that'd be a really awesome game altogether. I hope if they make a third one, they just slap it all together into one cohesive whole.
It was yeah. When I was going through my list, I was like, I considered it, but it was one of those where it's like I've only played episode one.
Mm,
I know there's an episode two. I know there isn't an episode three yet, and
mm.
so
Yeah,
yeah, I
because there's
felt a
a
bit like because I can't really have a game where it's just like the part one of it. Um,
yeah, because there's a butler bot as well that she gets into, and she just starts wrecking its life, and it's like it's just interesting to like just go through. It's a really cool like idea, and I really like it. And you can tell that they obviously love it very much, as a concept. But
yeah,
yeah, I sincerely hope they're making the Fall 3. I'm just going to quickly check that now. Yeah, Fall Part 2 was called
the
Unbound.
Unbound, yeah.
Unbound, yeah. But I don't know. Oh, please tell me they're still alive. I want to know if they're still alive. I don't want them to be dead. It's, I can't find anything about it, but yeah, The Fall was
Yeah.
2014.
Yeah. Wow.
And it says there is a third game to follow, but not a lot else.
About it. Oh, I hope they get.
Arid, that was her name. I couldn't remember what her name
Yeah.
was. Arid. Yeah. But yeah.
I hope they get around to. Hope they're still going. Hope they make a third one.
Me too, mate. I really do.
That was one of the things with like second one's been one of those I've been meaning to get around to, but there was also that aspect of like, yeah, when you've got it done, when the third one's done as well.
Yeah, I paid full whack for the second one because it's like, no, I'm going to support you. You need to make this third one.
Yeah.
Go make the third one. But yeah, The Fall, and I really enjoyed it. Thought it was great. But, yeah. Anyway, what's your last? Yeah, the last one.
Here's my last one, and you alluded to it earlier. It's XCOM 2.
Yes, that was an honourable mention. It was. Yeah. Yep.
Phyrexis got on twice. On my list twice. And I almost was like, oh, do I give Phyrexis 2 entries? And I was like, different game.
No, they deserve it.
Yeah, and it's two of the best games I've played.
Did you play War of the Chosen though? The DLC?
No, I've seen quite a lot of it, and I think I'm gonna get it in the winter sale when they put everything together, because like
it's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers in XCOM, and it's just what I wanted.
Yeah, I know they go a bit nuts, and don't they get like a bunch of like Star Trek actors to be the voice?
Yes, they do.
Like that, yeah.
And it's just like, yeah, let's just do this. It's so, and there's like Jonathan Frakes is in it. I think Michael Dorn's one character. Yeah, and it's just it's the bad guys are just like fucking Mighty Morphin Power Ranger villains. Oh, it's awesome. Hey, Ninja.
Yeah, so yeah, XCOM 2 is the only caveat I have is don't play it on PS4 because that version is
absolute garbage. Even XCOM was bad. The first one was bad, and then they just.
I thought the first one was pretty solid. That's why I bought it on like PS4. The second one, because I thought like, yeah, XCOM 1 on 360 was really solid. I thought.
What was the expansion called?
Because
that was bad.
Within?
That's it. That was bad. That was a bad port. That didn't work. But
I think I played that. Oh yeah.
That's when it started missing up.
Maybe Enemy Within. Yeah, so I think I played the original and then I played the expansion on PC. So I wouldn't have played Enemy Within on console. Yeah.
Yeah, because I remember playing the Enemy Within or whatever, Enemy Without, Enemy Over There, whatever it was called.
Whichever it was Enemy Unknown.
Enemy Within, yeah, Enemy Within. Yeah, because I played Enemy Within on Xbox 360 and you could just tell that it was just starting to creak under its own weight. Like, it just wasn't working. And whatever they did on that, they applied to XCOM 2. And it was just an absolute skip fire. Absolute rubbish.
It's one of those games where it felt like they were just relying on people not actually trying to finish it. Because the further you got into that game, the worse it got. It just slowly started to collapse under its own weight. The loading times just got longer and longer and longer. And the frame rate got lower and lower and lower.
Because I remember listening to a song which was like 3 minutes and I left it on. And I muted it and I just played it. And then I went, that was 3 minutes and 32 seconds. And I unmuted it. I was like, that is ridiculous.
I think I had a loading time that was half an hour.
Oh my God, really?
Right at the end, they have to swing with a cutscene where it makes you wait forever for the cutscene, then it plays, then it goes back to loading, then it plays the cutscene again, and then it goes back to loading. I swear, like, it literally took half an hour.
Yeah.
From like finishing the mission to being able to like do anything in like the base, it was appalling.
Yeah, because I played War of the Chosen. I really enjoyed War of the Chosen. I think it's actually one of the best expansions I've seen in games for a while. But like just the whole idea of the bad guys. I couldn't take it seriously, but I loved it because it was so Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. It was just like you got a guy who's a sniper. Every time they show up, they have to do a little animation to show that they're there, and it's like, oh, this is ridiculous. And when you kill them, they don't die. They just disappear, and they give like a little Mighty Morphin Power Rangers feel, like "I'll get you next time," and they disappear. And it's like, oh, this is beautiful. I love it. It's so silly. Yeah.
But XCOM 2 is just perfect tactical game. I played a few others, and when you play others, you realize just how much it gets right without you even realizing. Just how it all plays out, how it keeps the pace, how interesting things happen like so frequently.
I haven't played Chimera Squad yet.
Chimera Squad is so good. Love it.
So good.
So good. I just played it. I was just like, oh, I think they undersold that game. I really do. Because Firaxis was kind of like, yeah, it's like a smaller project. We did some experiments with how XCOM 2 works, and this is kind of the end result of that. You know, see what you make of it. I played it. It was just so good.
You don't get many bad Firaxis stuff, do you?
Yeah.
I mean, let's be honest. They know what they're doing.
It was a bit buggy, but I played through it to the end with a few bugs and whatever, and then they released a patch like 2 weeks after, and I read the patch notes, and they fixed basically everything I'd run into. So it's probably absolutely fine now. Yeah, it's a smaller scale, more frantic, I guess. It's more like infiltrating, like breaching locations and getting straight into the combat. Because like XCOM can be a little bit like move up slowly, Overwatch, move up, you know, like really sort of be really cautious, whereas Chimera Squad they tried to design a game where like that wouldn't work, that approach wouldn't work at all. It was just trying to force you to be like proactive. It's just a lot of fun, and it's a smaller, lower budget title, but it's also priced like that. So it was like, I don't know, I think I paid like £8. It was on,
I paid £8 and then never installed it. I bought it, never installed it.
Yeah, I highly recommend it. It was, I wasn't sure if we were going to talk about games from this year, but that was going to be one I was going to point out. Chimera Squad was really good.
Yeah, I was going to say, like, I remember buying it and then just going. So, see, it's like PC gaming is a weird part of my brain where it's just like, can I sit on my sofa and play it? No. Do I have to sit at a desk? No, thank you. That's literally where my brain goes.
Yeah, no, I get that. But I don't. It's a weird kind of mindset things where I actually went through a phase where it was like, I want to sit at my desk and play games. I think part of it was I had my PS4 hooked up to my monitor on my desk, so I kind of got into that anyway. So any game I played, I basically played at my desk anyway. I've got a PS4 downstairs at the moment, but so I kind of got used to that.
Right, do you want to know my controversial? Well, it's not controversial, but it's a weird. It's my last one. It's a weird one.
Okay.
Tales from the Borderlands.
Oh, this was on my shortlist. Yeah.
Yeah, Tales from the Borderlands. Yeah, absolutely adored it. I just thought, kudos to like Telltale managing to make characters I cared about and actually make it fun at the same time.
Out of Borderlands.
Borderlands, you actually managed it, and you kept me hooked, and I loved it. And I actually felt sad when certain characters died, and like when spoilers, Scooter dies. I was like, God, that's so sad.
And they did like a little expansion thing for Borderlands 2, and it had the what's the guy called?
Reese.
Reese. It had Reese in it, and it just wasn't the same. It was like almost like a completely different character. It had a different voice actor actually.
Oh, that's not good. Troy Baker, wasn't it?
Yeah, they didn't do it. There's a whole hoo-ha about it. Like Troy Baker said they didn't contact him to do it.
Was this in Borderlands 3 or 2?
This was 2, so it was. It was like a hype expansion for 3. It was like a bridging thing. It was. I'm trying to think what it was called. It was. Who's the siren? Lilith.
Maya. Maya?
Maya was in the second one. Lilith from the first one. It was Lilith's Fight for Sanctuary. It was called something like that. So it kind of bridged like the timeline between 2 and 3. But he was in it, and I was just like, I was so excited, and then I was like, this doesn't even feel like the same character.
That's a shame.
I've not played 3 yet, because 3 seems to be really disappointing from like a story perspective.
Oh, I'm not going to throw money on that.
Yeah, exactly. It's one of those games I might pick up for cheap.
Yeah, I'm just going to wait for it on Game Pass. That's literally...
Yeah, maybe as well. It just seems like most people seem really disappointed with it, so it's like I don't want to throw money at it if it's going to be disappointing.
I'm just going to throw this in a different direction because we talked about this earlier today because we've been mentioning Game Pass a few times. But I have been burned this year by a lot of games that I paid 50 quid for, and if you buy the EA access, if you get 3 of them from Shop2, it comes to about 50 quid for a year. And I just think, I could just pay 50 quid and just pick what I like.
Yeah, I was going through, because you got me for a Christmas present, Game Pass, and I was going through installing things, putting things on like a list to go back to later. It's really just like,
why would I mean, like, that's the whole thing with Borderlands there. It's just like, if that goes on Game Pass, I'll grab it. But yeah, it's one of them weird things where it's like, I just can't bring myself to do it. I can't. But Tales from the Borderlands, loved it. I thought it was a cracking game, and even Kirsty played it. She played it all the way through, doing her own thing, and she managed it. And also as well, it was one of those rare Telltale games where like you could do different things, and things did turn out differently.
Yeah.
So there's a bit with Handsome Jack where like you can side with him or not, and it completely changes the game. And I sided with him just to see where I could go.
Just to see what happened.
And she didn't side with him. And because I sided with him, I actually took over control of the entire station that they were on.
Of the Hyperion moon base.
Yeah. Whereas with her, she got kicked out. And then she had
I think I went against him. Yeah.
I went with him because I'm like, I like you, Jack.
That's interesting because they make a big deal out of it being like a battle between you two.
Yeah.
Like, feels like almost an episode's about it. Like, yeah.
Yeah, because at the end, when you turn against him and you like start ripping all the prosthetics out, for mine, he got really upset because like I thought we were friends.
Oh.
He rips his eye out and stuff. Yeah, so that's when I was just like, wow, you've actually played around with dickheads like me, Yeah. I think it's just one of them rare games where they literally looked at this like pile of nonsense story-wise and went, okay, let's make this. And they did.
It was up for consideration with mine. It kind of got bumped for another game, and then that game didn't quite make my top 10. If we're going on to honorable mentions.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll make that as a part 3.
Oh, okay, yeah. This is like part 3 of 1.
Bye.
Bye.